What's up, nerds? It's me, Longy Long. Welcome to my channel. Hey, isn't it so hard to find old games based on movies that aren't terrible? It seems like developers back then had a way of taking something that you love and just turning it into a crap festival. This game may not be any different, but it might also be worth a closer look. It's Platoon on the NES. Let's check it out. Oliver Stone's 1986 war movie Platoon is a classic. Visceral performances and gritty realism make this just about as intense as any war movie. Platoon does not hold back. Stone himself dropped out of Yale to spend 15 months serving in Vietnam. He received a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star for courageous actions under fire. This is a story he's qualified to tell. A story of hopeless decisions in a strange jungle where the enemy could be anybody, anywhere. Even your own platoon. Like any good war movie, I find Platoon really difficult to watch. It's just intense, it's dark, it's gritty, and it's really depressing. And now you can bring that feeling home on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Actually, Platoon, developed by Ocean, was released on just about every major platform in 1987 and 88, including DOS, Apple II, Commodore 64. Sunsoft published the NES port, which has been called the worst version, but it looks to me like just about every version suffers the same problems. I was initially drawn to this game because of the graphics. Considering the limitations of the 8-bit era, I really feel like Ocean captured Platoon's grit as well as could be expected, and the gameplay even comes close to capturing the lost and helpless feeling of a Vietnam soldier surrounded by the enemy. They pop out of spider holes, ambush you from the trees, and generally run you down out of nowhere. Level 1 makes up the bulk of the game. I'm not sure how players are supposed to know this, but you've got to find some explosives, a map of Stage 2's tunnel system, and a torch hidden in a jungle maze where every inch looks exactly the same. Without a walkthrough, you're going to be wandering around lost, trying not to get killed while enemies pop out everywhere. Back in my day, pictures in Nintendo magazines showed the second level to be a first-person sort of dungeon crawl. In the 8-bit days, first-person games were a novelty, and I needed to reach level 2. So I kept playing until I made it. But guess what? Stage 2 sucks. Like Stage 1, the graphics are on point, and the gameplay is almost good. But the crosshair is just a tiny bit too slow, and you'll find yourself getting hit again and again as you navigate yet another maze. At least you've got a map this time, but you still don't know where the things are you're supposed to find. Stage 3 is like survival mode. All you've got to do is hold off the enemies for a whole night, using the flares to see their location. This is a cool concept, and this may be the most straightforward stage in the game, because Stage 4, the final stage, seems to take inspiration from Contra, but it's a maze too, and you've got to go a certain way or you're going to be wandering around in circles until you find Sergeant Barnes, holed up in a bunker, shooting you with a machine gun. 5 grenades will kill him, but good luck with that. I've never beaten him. As usual, this whole thing is only loosely based on the movie plot, but I don't really count off for that. It's just kind of how movie games were back then. And what really burns me about Platoon isn't the bad controls or the arbitrary difficulty. It's not getting lost in the jungle and the tunnels in the first 2 stages. What really bugs me about Platoon is how close they came to actually making a really good game. I really like the graphics and the style and the music in Platoon. It totally conveys the darkness of the film and of the conflict itself, but it falls short in just about every other category. If they had toned down the difficulty and made Stage 1 less confusing, players might actually have enjoyed this. Even though it's annoyingly difficult, I still think the first-person tunnel maze had real potential. It was hard to effectively render first-person action games back then, but Ocean did it. And they screwed it up. Why Ocean decided to make every stage a different style is beyond me. Variety is good, but good games usually have a core mechanic that keeps players playing, and Platoon totally lacks that. Instead, they have basically 4 little games, none of which are as good as they could have been, all of which have great potential that they've never realized, and it irritates the crap out of me. But that said, it's hard not to recommend Platoon based on the $4 or $5 price tag, if only for the graphics, the music, and to see what could have been, especially in that first person second stage. I think it's worth that little bit of money. If it goes much over that, don't get it, but if it stays $4 or $5, I'll give it my ghetto recommendation. Hey, if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button and let me know. If you want to see when my next video comes out, subscribe to my channel. I'm doing 1 to 3 videos every single week. I haven't missed a week yet. Also, if you can't wait till my next video, I'm going to post up some over here. So click on one of these and check out what I've been up to. So why not bring that action home and experience it again and again on the Untitled? So why not relive that feeling again and again in the home place living? Sky!